Flash episode review. My thoughts on tonight's episode of Flash titled Untouchable. And I thought this was a pretty good episode. I mean, as you guys know, I'm getting pretty sick of the whole villain of the week concept in these shows. But I know because they have 22 episodes a season that they have to have these filler episodes. But it's like that's what I'm liking so far about Arrow in this season. That they have all these filler episodes where they don't have a villain of the week. And even though I flip-flop in how much I like Arrow, that is one thing that Arrow has over the Flash this season. And in this episode, the villain was it was another thing from Flashpoint. There are a lot of cool things in this episode. I really like the training sequences between Barry and Wally. And, when Barry and Wally is starting out the episode with that race, try to, get Wally to get faster. And the whole episode is Wally trying to learn how to phase through things. And at the end of the episode, I really like seeing Barry phase that whole train through the debris that the villain caused. I can't even remember the name off the top of his head. Because they didn't really give a name for him other than his actual name, which I, again, can't remember. Other than the villain, I found this to be a really good episode. Again, as a good episode, not a great episode, not my favorite episode. Good, and again, nothing too amazing about it, So, one of the things I brought up in my past reviews is this whole idea of keeping the whole Iris thing, the whole Iris dying situation, a secret from Joe. I thought that was a huge mistake to do because I saw how they handled that sort of thing on Arrow in Arrow's third season. And I honestly saw that and was like, please don't go down that route. Arrow season 3 was one of the worst seasons of television I've ever seen. And luckily, they got over with pretty quickly. It's not something that Joe's dwelling on. Joe reacted rationally to being told that, but it's not something that he's going to be dwelling on. He's not going to be, mad at the team or mad at Barry. I mean, initially he was upset, and he has a right to be when he finds out that his daughter is dying, and it has a secret that his daughter and his adopted son essentially have kept from him. So I can understand his frustrations there. But other than that, Joe, I really like Joe in this episode. And as I've said before, Joe is one of my favorite characters in the entire show. And one of the things I like about him is that he's a real character with real emotions. And he's, in this world of superpowers and all these things, he's one of the most grounded characters in the show. Like as much as I love, Barry, Cisco, and some of these other characters, they still feel a little they don't feel like real people to me. Whereas Joe feels like the most real person in this entire show. Because he brings the emotional level to the character as well as, being the character to kind of call out certain things that wouldn't make sense to an average person. And then Joe kind of is the average person of the show, or the average Joe, if you will. And another thing I enjoyed about this episode, it was a little thing, and they've been doing more in this last few episodes, is seeing Iris out in the field as a reporter. And while they didn't spend too much time in this episode, it goes to show that the writers are starting to learn that focusing on, not just to put all your focus on Iris, but having Iris as a key part of your story, I think does nothing but good for the show. And I know some fanboys they hate Iris. Again, watch my In Defense of Iris West video for all my problems with the fanboys and their treatment of Iris. Iris, again, much like Joe, is one of the most human characters in the show. In this episode, Candace Patton, she just does an amazing job. She's one of my favorite actresses. I think she is my favorite actor or actress in the entire show. Her and Jesse L. Martin are just phenomenal. They, to me, they're almost too good for the show. And week after week, they've been allowing Candace to kind of stretch as an actor and be able to go places that she necessarily hasn't gone before on the show. And seeing her go to these emotional depths and being there to be a comfort to Barry, but also be able to experience emotions for herself and deal with situations on her own and be able to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes and be able to make decisions on her own and to be able to influence others around in the Team Flash is one of the things I love about the Iris West character. And again, that's why Candace Patton is... I love her. I love her so much as Iris West. She's nothing but an amazing talent, and I'm not going to listen to any other super fanboy who says otherwise because they're ignorant and they're not I don't know. They can disagree with me all they want. They're not going to change my love of Candice Patton as an actress on the show. What else? I'm still not 100% sold on the whole Caitlyn and Julian thing that they're setting up. Because in this episode they had, because of the villain and his ability to try to, kill anything he touches, that by essentially turning it to ash. When he first was infecting Iris, and then you saw the banter between Julian and Caitlyn, and how they weren't exactly, seeing eye to eye, and Julian was kind of being full of himself. And that's the thing, like, Julian, to me, is just, he's kind of been, like, a one-note character so far this season. Like, the only episode I've actually really enjoyed him in was the mid-season finale, and so other than that, he's kind of been the same kind of asshole kind of character that we've seen from the rest of the show, and it's not great. And I'm not loving the romance thing that they're setting up between Julian and Caitlyn, because just Caitlyn doesn't need a love interest. She doesn't. Like, I think she works better on her own. Just allow her to be her own character without tying her to another boring-ass white guy, Just because of the whole Jay Garrick Zoom thing last year, and then the whole Firestorm thing first season. Like, I didn't mind her and Firestorm meeting in the first season, but then, they killed him off, and then she was, reasonably upset because of Firestorm's death, and then the whole Zoom thing, and then it's just, they don't need to make another stupid love interest storyline for Caitlyn, especially because they have an interesting storyline with Killer Frost herself, and I feel like, to me, that she just is a better character on her own, and I don't see why they need to keep doing this storyline of, forcing this guy down her line, like, hey, here's no love interest for Caitlyn, which we don't want to see. And honestly, I'm at a point where it's frustrating for me as a fan of the show, because I like the I like the actor playing Julian. I like Tom Felton as an actor. I just feel like, to me, this whole storyline with him and Caitlyn, to me, isn't all that interesting, and I gotta be honest about that. I find the Kid Flash and Wally stuff really interesting, and I'm like seeing Joe be able to experience a relationship on his own without having to spend all this time with Barry or Iris or Team Flash or whatever. And I just feel like the show sometimes is just, as much as I love the show, there are certain things that they really need to improve on, like the whole romantic thing with Caitlyn, and just the villain of the week thing, which I think, again, I hate that they do it, but I know they have to. I did like seeing Cisco vibe to Flashpoint. I mean, to me, the logistics of them doing that didn't make a whole ton of sense, but at the same time, this is a superhero show with the guy who can run at the speed of light, so, physics and all in the real world are kind of thrown out the window immediately. But, other than that, I had a lot of fun with this episode. I'm more excited for next week's episode with Gorilla Grodd and Jesse Quick coming back, because, you guys know I love the Jesse Quick character, so I'm really happy to see her coming back. And I'm really excited to see, Earth 2 Wells, because I've been on the fence about this new Earth 19 Wells, so I'm excited to see the other one. Even though I didn't love him that much that season, I almost miss him because this one has been so to me. So I think with that being said, that's gonna be it for me. So what did you guys think of this episode? Send your thoughts in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Tomorrow night I will be reviewing Arrow, hopefully on time, and you guys can also check out all my other different reviews. I have trailer reviews, other TV show reviews like Supergirl, and obviously The Flash, Star Wars Rebels, which I'm still trying to get caught up on, and I have movie reviews and stuff as well if you guys want to check those out. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, have a good one.